I'm up. Donald Bellwether, age 68, gets groggily out of bed. He looks at his Conair alarm clock, analog, the digital ones can be hacked, and sees that it's stopped at 3:03 a.m., which doesn't at all match the sun coming in through his window. He reaches for the pack of cigarettes on his nightstand, then thinks better of it. Right, lungs. I hear you, I'm coming. Don swings his legs out of bed, sits up, and has a coughing fit nearly hard enough to lay him back down. When it's over, he gets the rest of the way up and goes to Cheech's enclosure. The little gray chinchilla stops its angry squeaking and starts chittering happily. Don scoops a cup of guinea pig food, organic and expensive, but can't trust the chemicals in the cheap stuff, and dumps it into Cheech's bowl. This now, veggies later. Sound good? Cheech looks at him for a moment, then hops to the bowl and starts eating. Don checks his watch, wind up. Electronic ones can be hacked even easier than the clocks, and groans. No wonder you're so hungry. Walks into his small ensuite bathroom and checks his jugs. 2 left. Gotta buy more soon, I guess. Great. He lifts one of the jugs up into the jury-rigged cistern for his shower. City water's no good. Too many chemicals. Then sits down on the closed toilet, coughing and exhausted. Gotta get that automated or something. Getting too old for this crap. Once he's showered and brushed his teeth, bottled water, homemade paste, Don dresses in one of his 6 identical charcoal shirts, one of his 4 pairs of identical black slacks, one of his 3 identical black sports coats, and one of his 2 pairs of identical black patent leather shoes. He straps his backup 32, what they always called their Saturday night specials back on the force, at least back when backups were still a thing, into its holster, and straps that to his left ankle. He puts on his glasses, clips on the sunshades, more to stop the stares and because he thinks it'll be too bright out, and winds his watch. By now it's nearly 3 in the afternoon. He also turns on his coffee maker, filled again from a bottle of spring water, and tears up some lettuce, organic, farmer's market, chopped up a radish, same, and puts them in Cheech's almost empty bowl. You eat all this up now too, okay? Cheech chitters amiably back. From the small kitchen behind him suddenly comes a loud pop and fizzle. The hell? Don spins around, reaching for his backup out of old cop instinct, but sees that it's just the coffee maker. The old Mr. Coffee seems to have finally given up the ghost. He walks over and sees burn marks around the indicator light. Whole damn board must have fried. Normally, Don wouldn't be too surprised by a nearly 30-year-old appliance going out, but it lost 2 light bulbs yesterday, the humidity gauge for Cheech's enclosure the day before, and now this, and the clock. Are they trying to tap into my grid? Overloading the breakers? Still muttering to himself, Don decides if he can't have his coffee at home, he'll head out to Main Street instead. Get something to eat at the diner, then maybe stop in the pub for a drink or 2. Maybe Zeke will be there. He knows all about this electronics crap. Though, maybe not. It is a school night. He grabs his keys and his cigarettes, says his goodbyes to Cheech, and locks up. 3 locks. He knows if someone wants in, they'll get in, but hiding that they picked 3 has to be harder than hiding they picked 1, right? He takes a deep breath of fresh air and, once the coughing fit that causes stops, walks downstairs to his van while lighting up a smoke. This is Jimmy Fame Presents.
Hello, and welcome back to Bonus Against the Machine. Jimmy Fame presents more Pod for Your Bod, sponsored by Charlie, the Lizard Folks Chicken Emporium, more cluck for your buck. I think that's all the words. I was practicing it on the... Is it not all the words? Oh no, I've forgotten some words.
No, there's an order issue.
Dang. I was practicing all day and apparently practicing in the wrong order. We'll edit that in.
Well, We'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post.
As we always do.
As we
Yes,
always
we definitely
we're
won't
very
leave that in
professional.
as an outtake.
Yeah, I'm saying that right now, knowing I'm probably going to be the one to edit this and knowing I'm not going to do that. You're all just going to have to listen to it the way it is and wonder about what the true order could be. Anyway, hey, how's it going? Welcome back. We recorded no time at all ago our introductory sort of character creation basis for this McFyb, which is great, and you should definitely listen to it if you haven't already. Today will be our session 1, so we're just diving in, meeting everyone, and we're going to have a great time. Any questions before we start? I feel like I'm leading a meeting at work. That would be my... Did everyone open the agenda?
There's an agenda? Is that real?
What?
No, there's no agenda.
I was afraid to open anything because a lot of these look like they're probably important things.
It's just what I would say at the beginning. I think everything that you have access to is readable. But don't read it. Just
I was afraid to click on anything other than my own name because I didn't know if any of them weren't supposed to be there.
Yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible that something isn't supposed to be there, so who can say? Anyway, we find ourselves in the town of Handfast, a small tourist trap, once a farming land, a land rife with farming, now become more of like a summery town where people go and hang out and do really picturesque things like play with their children in the woods and shop for honey and other things that you do when in a small town. We are joined by our 4 hunters, each of whom happen to all be in the same location, which happens to be a tavern, because some things just can't be changed. So, let's start with, I'm going to choose randomly. Let's start with Dawn. Dawn, it's like 9 p.m.-ish. The sun is just set. You are in the small town of Handfast at the Main Street pub. What are you doing there?
I think he is going to... I imagine he's sitting at the bar, smoking, even if it's a no-smoking establishment, though if it's like the bars around here, they get around it by not serving any food at all, so they can still be allowed to. And I think he has he's got like 2 fingers of whiskey in front of him in a glass, and he's got a frozen bottle of water that he's like crinkling to make it break up, and he's putting that in because he doesn't want the ice from the tap in his glass. And he's just kind of sitting there slowly nursing this whiskey.
And the man behind the counter, who is in his like late 20s, early 30s, dark curly hair, bright green eyes, just sort of looks at you and laughs. Still don't trust our ice, huh?
Oh, it's not you guys. It's what the city water puts in it. Can't drink that stuff. Poison.
Right, and what do they put in it again?
All kinds of things. You wouldn't believe it.
I'm sure I wouldn't. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right, enjoy. And this man walks off to go see another customer. Lee. What are you doing at the Main Street pub? This is not where you frequent usually, I assume. You're weird.
Well, I mean, for one, Lee's not here. Oh, wait, no, now Lee is. It's weird. You could have sworn a second ago that Lee wasn't here, but Lee is definitely here now and probably was a second ago. People don't just appear. But I think they are kind of standing probably fairly close to the entrance with like a big kind of fake smile on their face and handing out business cards for their burgeoning real estate businesses to basically everyone who walks into the store, just with a big grin, like, looking to buy or sell. Lee's your... I'll have a tagline next time we talk. If you call that number, I'll have a good tagline.
And this woman takes a card, looks sort of confused, and is like, Lee, you sold me I don't need this.
Well, you never know when you might need it, though.
All right, I'll take it. You know,
That's...
Max loves playing with these things. And, like, hands the card down to this little kid who, like, yawns and takes it because it's past his bedtime. He looks maybe 3 or 4 years old. He's dressed in a little white shirt with a collar. It's very... he looks like one of those kids in a Gap commercial.
They serve kids at this bar?
Oh, yeah. It's a real family establishment. It has a family-friendly section with no smoking and no alcohol.
It seems
just
normal
sort of
to Lee.
cordoned off. And she hands the business card down to him, and he's like, yeah, another one, and tucks it in his pocket. And the two continue out of the bar. Let's see. Zeke, what are you doing here?
So Zeke is also sitting at the bar, although not like next to Don. There's a few stools between them. He, of course, supports local craft brews, and so he's drinking a Boone Creek Blonde Ale from Appalachian Mountain Brewery here in Boone, North Carolina, originally. Just started a couple years ago, back in 2013, although I'm sure you know. And he's on his smartphone. I'm going to guess with privacy-minded man like himself. He's rocking a BlackBerry, and he doesn't even care. People still laugh at a BlackBerry because he knows, man, if you want to keep the feds out of your phone, it's the only way to go. And I think he is just on, Reddit right now and scrolling, trying to think, anything weird happening. And he's not really talking to anybody. He's just sipping his local craft brew and scrolling.
And seated next to you is a man by himself who's sort of slumped over the bar. Excuse me. Maybe 1 or 2 drinks in, a little too deep. And looks over at you and sort of nods. It's like, Zeke, what you looking at?
Man, I'm just on the Reddit right now. I'm on r/weird happenings, which is probably real. And I'm just like, got my eyes out, my head on a swivel, ears to the ground, because you're not going to find out what's really happening in, the newspaper? On social media? No. The real truth is where the real people are, and that's Reddit.
Right on, my guy. Hey, how about a round on you?
Ooh,
Come
okay,
on, just one for old Johnny.
All right, old Johnny, I'll get you one, but it's gotta be an A and B. Gotta support local. None of that Miller Lite.
Old Johnny. I'm just writing down my NPCs here. I don't know why I did that to myself. There was no reason for that. Old Johnny says, yeah, man, whatever. And then waves over the bartender. Eli, we're going to have a couple ABCs over here.
It brings us some root beer. No, IBC. Wait, what?
And last but not least, it's a guy whose name I remember. It's not a guy, actually. It's Jerry, our good friend Jerry. Jerry, what's up to?
Well, it's 9:00 on a weekday, so of course she's at the tavern. She is about to cut into her first Pepto-Bismolopolitan. I've just dropped the recipe inside of McFyb. She has pretty bad acid reflux. But don't worry, if you join our Patreon, I will individually text you the screenshot of this drink recipe at least 14 times. or I won't, and that is why you join the Patreon, because otherwise I will if you don't. But so she comes in, and she's a bit of the way in, and she is on the other side of Mike. What is the drunk man's name?
Old Johnny.
Old Johnny. Of course. Yeah. You know what? Just put it on my tab. Let's have a good night here. It's Tuesday, and can we not besmirch the fine reporting of the Handfast Herald, please? What's wrong with the local newspaper?
Jerry, if you want to know how the Handfast high school sports are doing, check out that Herald, absolutely, but he lowers his voice, the weird stuff, they're not going to print that.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
Which is that $5 bill you put on the bar there, darling. I will consider that a tip. No, she just slides it towards the bartender because she has great rapport. They literally stock a bottle of alcoholic Pepto-Bismol just for her there. So,
yeah. So Eli takes the couple bucks and just laughs, like, enjoy. Now, you got to be careful talking about the Handfast Herald. Janie was just here. And as you know, Janie is the editor of one Jane Howland, the editor of the Handfast Herald.
Old journalist Janie. Yeah, no,
That's what we used to call her.
That's what we used to call her in journalism school, which I was a dropout of.
I attended right here in town. The illustrious Handfast Journalism Academy.
In 1927.
Great. Well, you're all enjoying your night. It's things are going fairly well. Some of you perhaps more than others. Time passes. People come in and out. It's about 9:15 when suddenly the door to the tavern bangs open, and a man bursts in, looking real rough for wear. His nose is bleeding. He's got a burgeoning black eye. His hair is tousled. His clothes are ripped, and he's clutching his left arm to his stomach. And you can see just over the edge of his arm where he's holding it to himself. You can see just a little bit of blood. He goes, "Help! Help! Help! I don't know what happened. I was out running, and then it was dark. It was so dark. Please help me, someone." And Eli, the bartender, will run around from behind the bar and say the man's name, who I have written down right here for just such an occasion. God, how do you people do this? Wait for it. Okay, he's going to get a new name. It's Frank now. The man's name is Frank. Frank, oh my God, sit down, please. Someone get him some water, and then we'll guide him over to an empty chair and have him sit down. Frank, what happened? And the man shakes his head. I don't know. I was out jogging. Everything was normal. It was dark. It was really dark. And old Johnny from the bar goes, "It's nighttime. Of course it was dark." To which Eli's like, not appropriate, my guy. Frank, you good? And Frank sort of sits up, stretches a little bit. I think so, but my arm. And he moves his hand, and he has one just jagged long cut on his left arm.
Yeah, Zeke would roll plus cool to grab some water. Do I need to roll for it? Acting under pressure, helping out. He's helping out right now.
I'm gonna say you can just do it. You can grab that water.
Fine, I grab water. I just wanted to hit level 1 within the first 30 minutes, or level 2 within the first 30 minutes.
Oh, I know what you wanted.
Don is going to, you see him reach down to his ankle, and he pulls out a snub-nosed revolver, and he is going to run to the door and lock it.
But Eli is like, "Whoa, you just keep that on you?"
That escalated quickly.
I mean, we don't know what attacked him. We don't know what's out there. You better call the cops.
Oh, the cop is probably already in bed. But, yeah, I guess we can get him out here. He's not done a whole lot the last couple times this has happened. Frank will say, the last couple... Oh, this is just like those attacks. Oh, geez. Let's see. Dawn, roll me a investigate a mystery. Which is... Hang on, gotta check my other notes.
Shop.
Is 11 plus 2 for sharp is a 13.
Excellent.
Oh, wait, no, that's not an 11. I can't count. That's a 9. Plus 2 for sharp is an 11. I was going to say, wait a minute, 11's only one less from max. I can't count. I got a 5 and a 4. So 11
right.
total.
Perfect. Great job. When you investigate a mystery, roll plus sharp. On a 10 plus, which you just got, right? You just said 11 total?
Yes.
Hold 2, and you can use one of those. You can use each of those ones to answer to ask 2 questions. What happened here?
Awesome.
What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? Or what is being concealed here?
Awesome.
If you open up, like, they should be on your character sheet also.
Yeah, I have a thing to mark the things. Other question I have as part of my ability as the Flake, a thing called Connect the Dots. At the beginning of each mystery, if you look for wider patterns the current events may be part of, roll plus sharp. And I just heard them say that this is like the previous attacks. Can I roll that to try and get even a couple extra questions? It's at top is basically what it does.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
So that's also a sharp roll. That is not as good, though. That is a 6 for an 8.
Okay, so let's
7
resolve.
or 9, I can hold 1. Okay, yeah, let's resolve the other one first. Yeah.
Let's resolve that. You can ask one of those two
Okay.
of those 6 questions.
So I think the first one would be like, what is this? What does this look like? Attacked him.
So you let's say you approach Frank and are overhearing as Eli asks him these questions. What was it? Did you see what it was? And it's like, no, I don't remember anything. It was just shadow, just darkness. I thought maybe for a second something moved in the shadows, but I didn't see anything. So we can pick up from that is dark. You saw darkness.
Yeah. Okay. And what were the other... Oh, wait, no, here they are. What happened? What sort of creature? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? So he's going to say, after it hit you, did it chase you? Did it run off? What happened? And that's, where did it go is the other one he's asking.
And the man, Frank, says, I don't know. I woke up alone, but I was out on the jogging path over by Freya's Fjord. I mean, I guess there are only a couple places it could have gone, back deeper into the forest or...
And I think for my
Close to
one
town.
question that I get for Connect the Dots, I'm going to do the how does this mystery connect to the bigger picture question, which I will ask as I will turn back to, it was Eli you said was the bartender? I will turn to him and say, you said the other attacks, this has happened before?
Oh, well, sure. It's been happening now, a couple days. This is the, third, fourth time? I mean, I only know what they got in the papers, but something like this happened, a couple nights ago, and then a couple nights before that, and a couple nights before that. You know, gosh, I really should have these names ready. Frank and Constance and Alice. I don't know. Maybe talk to the detective. He'll have a better idea of it, but... This is the 4th time this has happened now. It's becoming a downright criminal trade of some sort.
While they're talking, can Lee sort of surreptitiously sneak in and check out Frank's arm?
Sure. What are you looking for?
Specifically, I would be looking to lay on hands, which is your touch
Okay.
can heal injury or disease. When you lay your hands
Very
on
nice.
someone hurt, Roll plus cool.
All right, go ahead and roll plus cool.
All right, notably, not the coolest. What do we got? That's a 5 plus 1. That is a 6.
Okay. Well, hey, good news. Experience.
Cool.
Experience.
Let me pull up your character sheet so I can see what all else. I'm pretty sure things go badly on that on a 6 for that particular roll, for really all the rolls.
Yeah, on a miss, your aura causes them extra harm. Which is the
His arm
opposite
explodes.
of what I want.
Don't worry, I'm a realtor. Just fucking...
At real estate school, they teach you first aid.
So you approach Frank, who is kind of sitting, sipping his water with one hand, trying to kind of stop the bleeding with the other. Eli has stepped away, presumably to call an ambulance or the police. And you lean in as Dawn and Frank are chatting, and subtly lay a hand out, just sort of stretch your hand out over his arm. And for just a second, there's something that looks like a glow. And the flesh starts to knit itself back together, and then you get distracted because you sneeze really hard, and that rending of flesh just becomes just a little worse. And Frank goes, "Ow, my God! What did you just do? What are you doing to me? I was just attacked by something. Why would you rip open my arm further?"
I was just checking it for normal debris and infections. That's a thing, right? You all get infections, don't you?
We all. What is that?
You
know what? Maybe
Some
just
more
get
than
away from
others,
me.
darling.
Well, some people don't get infections, but some people do. I didn't want you to be one of the people that does.
Sure. Back off. Get away from me.
I will take 2 steps back.
Good enough. Around this time, Eli comes back and is like, "All right, well, I called the one ambulance. It should be here in a little bit. I mean, it's probably faster just to walk there. You know, the hospital's right across the street. Do you want to put in a report with the detective? Officer Edward Turner, whose name I found." Oh, and then I have to answer that question. It's me. Yeah, I guess so. In the morning, though, I'm gonna get out of here. And kind of stand shakily, and Eli goes to help him up as he starts to leave. Do you want to ask him any more questions before he goes?
Do you know how long ago you were attacked?
I don't know. I think it just happened. I left my house to go jogging like half an hour ago, and then I woke up and came here, so 5 minutes. Okay. And he will skedaddle, leaving all of you in the bar. It's the mood is, somber now. It's a little more, people are kind of have turned away from what they were doing, playing darts and pool and air hockey. It's a really cool tavern/family restaurant.
Does Don let him leave? Because he'd locked the door and was holding a gun. I can't go out there, man.
We've already heard him once, so there's precedent.
That is true.
Yeah.
Don, do you
I don't think he's gonna
let him
stop.
out? I think Eli goes to unlock the door and is like, "Don't lock the door, man."
Yeah, I don't think he's going to stop him from unlocking it, but he is going to, have his gun trained on the door. With his finger on the trigger and his hand shaking, just the worst trigger discipline you've ever seen.
There's a family in the corner booth that was celebrating their, 5-year-old girl's birthday, and she's just crying.
She is crying. Yep. It's sad.
She's bummed she didn't get all those business cards like the other kid.
They're a hot commodity. Should I have offered to carry him to the hospital?
Not... Sure. You know what? I'm sure he's still not too far if you want to carry him across the street.
I think he did enough, darling. And then Mike whispers into his ear, "More than enough. Leave him alone. You don't want to weird this out.
I understand.
Normal people advice. Claps a meaty paw under his shoulder.
A knowing thumbs up.
People stuff.
So Eli kind of stands at the door for a second, shakes his head. It's like, I think things are getting weirder and weirder around here, you know? Just almost doesn't feel safe anymore. And then retreats behind the bar. What do you all do?
Probably stay in the bar for the rest of the episode. I feel like that is likely what you want us to do, and I'm sure
Naturally.
that is. Yes.
Just lock the door back up and stay. It's not safe at night.
Yeah, it's dangerous out there. Somebody got attacked by a monster.
Absolutely.
We're not going out in that.
Have a good old-fashioned lock-in.
Sorry, what's the bartender's name again? My apologies. I just literally deleted it after writing it down. Eli.
No worries,
Okay,
Eli.
perfect. Eli, you know, my chef's knife and my bread knife and my paring knife and all of my other knives that I use in the due course of my job have been kind of dull recently. What about you? How was your bar prep today?
Oh, so funny that you ask. I couldn't cut a single lime. I've been sending all these vodka sodas with no lime. People are sending them back. It's wild. I don't know why my accent just changed. It's because I'm upset.
The real accent comes out.
Yeah. It's the lime adjacent.
Easy, Eli. They'll figure out you're in witness protection, and then the whole thing is blown up.
But really, it's been a time. Even at home, you know, I just noticed the other day my fridge broke down. All of my spoons are missing. It's been crazy.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Before the school system invested in shelf-stable pork, I was throwing it out every week.
Every week, the food's going bad too, huh?
Yeah. This episode brought to you by shelf-stable pork.
Shelf-stable pork.
Pork not in a hurry.
Pork on your time.
Pork.
Oh,
I wish I
there's the
hadn't said
title.
that. I wish.
This is why you are in marketing and advertising. Yeah, wow. It's just like, it's one of those moments where it's like you just watch Beethoven compose, or like, you know.
Basically, it's a Don Draper moment. You can see the eyes just
absolutely.
gloss over, and then you've got the Kodak carousel.
Here we go. All right, so Eli
Now I
steps
need
back.
that merch.
Yeah, no, let's get a good one.
Just some pork brand that we'll have to come up with. You know, like Handfast pork on your time.
Handfast shelf stable pork.
I just love the idea of being like, I'm so sick of pork being so pushy and expiring within a week. I wish I had the freedom to consume it at the time and place of my choosing.
Has this ever happened to you? That's funny. So Eli steps back behind the bar. Families are now starting to, like the few families that were there, because it's 9 p.m. on a school night. Families are starting to leave. Old Johnny gets up and sort of stumbles out into the street. Eli watches him go with the, all right, careful, Johnny. And eventually it's just the four of you left there. Are you going to stay there all night?
Sorry, I was just laughing at 9 p.m. being the reason why the families left, not the man with the gun who locked the door. And
Or the guys that stumbled in covered in blood and scratches
bleeding.
who said something attacked him out in the...
Or they're like 140 proof Pepto-Bismol. All of those things are acceptable to have your child around. But 9
Weird,
p.m.
biblically accurate angel handing out gift cards.
Well, some things just come with living in Holdfast.
But also mostly the 9 p.m., yeah.
Are you staying in the
I
bar?
Yeah, well, Jerry's going to sidle up to Zeke. Be like, kind of freaky day. Kind of like the old freaky.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of want to talk to old Detective Ed. Say, like, what's going on, man? We just, like, letting people get mauled by dark shadow creatures on the jogging trails. Did you, file a report, Eli? Or are you doing that in the morning?
No, I haven't done it yet. I guess I could.
Yeah, stop those like hour and a half closing duties that you're in the middle of that we're also slowing down. I really think you should fill out that police report. As a former food service worker.
I mean,
Well,
he couldn't even be bothered to
known.
make sure the guy made it to the hospital. Just pointed him out the door.
It's like it's across the
It's
He
across
peeked
the
out the
street, man.
window.
He doesn't have time for that.
He peeked out the window. He was like, yeah, he's fine.
Unfortunately,
No,
it's
I
the
haven't
busiest street in
filed
town.
anything yet. It is. It's the main street. It is the main street pub.
I imagine he just steps outside and you just see him like he just gets carried off like the freaking werewolf in American Dad. Like he's
So where is this detective exactly?
Oh, you know Ed. He's out on off Main Street, on non-Main Street. You know, NM Street.
New Hampshire Street. Yes,
There it is.
absolutely. Yeah.
He's probably still up if you want to talk to him. I mean, you know, the police station is technically closed. It's after 9 p.m. on a school night, but I guess if you needed to talk to him, he'd be aware. He'd certainly want to know this after all that's been going on.
I mean, maybe it's just the Pepto talking, but I'm feeling a little light in my loafers. Anybody feeling like a little constitutional? Want to walk a old lady home? Maybe swing by the police.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the truth isn't in here. It's out there.
yeah. Zeke's right. Something weird's going on. It'd be awful to let an old lady like you go home on your own. Not to call you an old lady or anything. I think we're probably about the same age, our two characters. It's doubly rude for him to say.
Old lady like you.
She is canonically possibly centuries old.
There's no way of knowing.
Time has a different meaning for Jerry. It does. It does. Yeah, so let's give Eli some time to fill out the rigorous paperwork they have to do before the end of their shift. But Don, what did you see in there? What did you see on his arm?
It was like a cut, big, long cut. Something really scratched the hell out of him. I don't know what it was. That's all it was, right? It was just the single long cut, yeah. And I think that's probably weird. So he's going to mention that too. And it was just the one. Like, I would have said maybe some weirdo with a knife or something, but he would have seen that. He said that he thought it was more like an animal or something. Whatever it was pitch black. He said he couldn't see it at all.
Well, we did just win the worst lit public park in North Carolina award for the 5th year in a row, so I am not surprised. But I don't know, it's a little weird. Have you seen animals that can do this?
I mean,
Well, maybe not you, Lee. You've seen some things. What about you, Zeke?
I have things that I could roll if I could actually see it. But I haven't encountered it yet. So, yeah, Zeke will just kind of shake his head because he does have one of his, tools he has are historical documents and witness reports of strange events. So I think he might be like, this kind of reminds me of something.
Pulls out Ripley's Believe It or Not. It's like...
Yeah, I don't know. He's definitely the kind of guy who's got a big, Bigfoot Believe sticker on the back of his car. But he's... I think he's not sure. Yeah, I don't know. It could be a few different things, man.
Maybe we should go to the park. See if it's lingering there.
Let's go down by the jogging trails near Freya's Fjord. We could.
Well, whatever y'all do, be careful out there. It's a wild time, with these weather events and the appliances breaking down, the food spoiling. What's going on? Says Eli, and then goes back to polishing the counters. That's what bartenders do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Lots of polishing.
There you go.
Very like The Shining, where you're just constantly...
According to Law and
just
Order,
that
they
guy.
just stand
Shining
behind
stuff.
the
Yeah.
counter and polish something with a dirty rag all day long.
So it sounds like you got choices. Some folks want to go talk to the one cop. Some folks want to head to the park. What are your thoughts?
I say we split the party. It's always
Split the
been the
party.
most
I
efficient
love this plan.
and best way to not only play in terms of maximizing your strength, but also to have a really cohesive and inclusive story.
That's true.
Also, is Lee the only one who wanted to go
I
to
am
the cop?
just
Are we
a
doing
fledgling
3-1
DM, but-
split?
I'll go with Lee.
I mean, Zeke wanted to go.
Oh, and
talk
then
to
do
the
the
cop.
trail after. Yeah.
Are we doing a
Which-
3-1 split?
I mean, no. I'm gonna even it out. Whoever is going anywhere. I was gonna go to the cop, but
Yeah, we can
get
all go to the
cop
cop.
He's handsome.
and
The-
get him
like
to come with
Matlock.
us. Actually, we should probably see if that lazy bum wants to come with us before we head out to the park. Always better to have another set of eyes.
And Keeper, is the police station near like town hall? So like we'd pass it kind of on our way to the jogging trail. Where is it in our?
Your little map. It's
Hamlet.
it's pretty close to town hall. It's on the western side of the river. So if you're headed over to the jogging trail next to the park, you would pass it.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we just knock on old Detective Ed's door, and if he doesn't want to come with us because he's a coward, that's fine. But if he wants to and man up, then we could find out if this is some, weird one-clawed bobcat or something else.
All right. So it sounds like we are headed over to Officer Turner's house. So you all leave the bar. Wish Eli a good night. He tells you again to be safe. You head out. It's not too. Handfast is pretty small, pretty walkable. So you can sort of walk everywhere. You'll want to keep an eye out for weird one-clawed bobcat sort of situation. But you make your way over there. It doesn't take too long. You do in fact see one light on over the porch. This is just a small kind of cottagey looking house. It's got a light on over the porch, as I just mentioned, and also a door and a couple windows and some hedges. Yeah. I'm painting a picture with my words.
I could see it all.
Well, let's see if Columbo is still awake, huh? Knocks on the door. It's gonna kill with the age of our listener base. All of these Columbo and Kojak jokes that I make.
Just one more question, Mr. Turner.
Oh, one more thing. Columbo. That's a reference I can get in on.
I was sold on Kojak. Just got a
Oh, I know
lollipop.
that one. So it's quiet for a few minutes. Not a few minutes. That's a really long time. And then you hear some steps coming in the house, and the door opens, and you see a man in his, let's say, late 50s, early 60s, graying hair, really thick beard, quite the beer belly, in his going-to-sleep clothes. And he's got a mug of something that smells real strong, and you can hear in the background a laugh track over the doo-doo-doo-doo. And he's watching Seinfeld. hello, what are you all doing here? It's mighty late for you to be out just knocking on doors.
Oh, it sounds like that's the one where George got the job at the baseball team. It was a good episode. Anyway, how are you doing, darling?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking. Just watching my soaps, as it were. You know, soaps is anything that is on TV. Y'all are here mighty late, though. What, can I ask you what's going on?
Who has the most charm?
Not me.
One.
I have a negative one also.
I too have a negative one.
Oh no.
Oh,
One.
Nice.
It is.
What's up, face?
Congratulations, you've been promoted to face.
Oh, love it.
I do, though I will say I have the ability, if we're doing manipulate, I can use sharp instead of charm.
Nice.
Maybe. I think
We're just like meeting him, but I'm
ourselves
just an
to
out
this.
for Jeff later on. I can help with some of that.
Because I feel like he's got
Appreciate
like alcohol in one hand and like a little like
Yeah, he's got like the
floppy
nightcap and the
cap
dressing
and,
gown.
like an oil
Not
lamp.
even an oil lamp. He's holding like
Yeah.
a candle on one of those
Oil
things
lamp.
with the finger.
Oh yeah, candle. Yeah, with the little finger thing. Yeah, exactly.
Peers out there.
Yeah, hey, officer. We were just hanging out at the Main Street pub, minding our own business. Good citizens. It's a school night, we weren't going to be up too late. But then, Frank, he's one of the other, 9 people who live in town. Good one. And he comes in, and he says, help! And he's got,
Don't tell
holding
me.
his side, there's blood, like a one
Just the
slash
one deep
on his
cut, and you
arm.
look like you've just done
Yeah.
been beat up. Man,
Yeah,
these kids
man.
are getting crazier every day, I swear.
Kids, you're saying you think kids are the the culprits, or kids are the victims?
Oh, no child victims so far. I mean, just been the 4 of them, all adults. I should not have said that. That was inappropriate to share. But no kid, just, I think it's just college kids doing pranks, how things get real busy here in the summer, and folks come down and slice up other folks, as kids are wont to do.
That seems like a bad thing for
No.
kids to do.
Sure is, but what can I do, except for tell them to stop?
The guy that stumbled into the bar. Why do I have an accent now? Ed, the guy that
It's really hard to
guy
not.
that stumbled into the bar tonight had a gash on his arm, like a foot-long gash. Even if that is kids, you need to start making some arrests or something. Just do your job, Ed.
Oh, come on. It's just kids having fun. I mean, things are getting a little out of hand, but it's nothing we can't handle. It's not like, the flood last week. That was, straight out of nowhere. Or even weirder, the snowstorm we had before that. I mean, these are real things we should be concerned about. I've heard
Now-
that...
Ed, come on now. We all know that you do not control the weather. That's the Shriners. We're here to talk about important stuff. Shares a knowing look with it's hard to figure out
both
which one of you
nodding
is more wacky.
Lee's just taking notes.
Don and Zeke are just brandishing their anti-Shriner
Yeah.
pamphlet.
He's got the little
or
fez
something
with like a
behind.
cross
The
through
drawing
it.
of a
He's got a
fez crossed
tattoo.
out.
By the way, apologies to all of the Shriner listeners. We love you as listeners. This is
100%.
just role play.
This is fictional.
I've donated so many soda cab tabs to your
That's
house.
the thing about Zeke's tattoos. You wear a long sleeve shirt, so depending on if you need to befriend somebody or show you're against somebody, you roll up one sleeve to be like, no, this. And the other sleeve is like, yeah, I'm a Knights Templar, whatever you need.
No,
me
they're
to
just
be.
all in a row on
A
one
fez
side,
and a
and you just
crossed
roll
out
it up
fez.
as far as you need.
Yep. Got to be prepared.
But the weird weather, you don't like the weather in Handfast, wait 10 minutes, but that's not what we're talking about. Because even when I was a kid in college and we were pushing the hoop with the stick or whatever it is that we did for fun and the time that I was young, we weren't slashing people with a singular sharp object. Even if that gentleman, Jack, was doing it over in London at the time.
I don't know. I mean, sure, okay, it's been strange, and it has happened a couple times now. I suppose I can put in an official report tomorrow morning and, I don't know, do some poking around, but what is there to say, you know? All four witnesses, apparently, well, I guess I haven't talked to the third guy. Did fourth guy, did he say he saw anything?
Just said it was really dark. Yeah.
Real dark, right? It sounds like kids to me. You know how kids like to play in the dark. But listen, if you want more information, I suppose you can try and talk to the witnesses. But, I'm not supposed to be giving out names left and right.
You could just give us their addresses
Constance
instead.
And Alice.
Now, that is a couple... Lee, roll manipulate somebody.
Oh, God.
Manipulate someone. All right, you should not have been the one to say it.
This was a mistake. On the plus side, experience. Wow, okay. So 8 on the die, minus 1 charm is a 7.
Hey.
Okay.
No experience. They stole it from you.
Well,
by 1,
6
right?
or below,
It's at
yeah.
6? Is it
Yep.
6 you got?
Yeah, so...
but I still get it because charm is a highlighted thingy. So I get 1.
Oh, yeah, correct. Hang on, let me find the manipulate someone. All right. Manipulate someone. Tell them what you want them to do and roll plus charm. So you're asking for these addresses. For a normal person, if you get a 10 plus, they'll do it for the reason you gave them. On a 7 to 9, they'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show you mean it. So Officer Edward Turner looks at you and says, "That's right, I remember you. You're the strange one. You want addresses?"
As a real estate agent, I am very interested in addresses and houses and homes and such as a professional, but also as an amateur investigator of these attacks.
Uh-huh. Well, I probably won't have time to do anything about this till tomorrow. And, I have been looking to expand. This is both my office and the home. And with folks coming by the police station late at night. It's real inconvenient for my soaps. Now, what say you lend me one of them business cards, and maybe I can hand out a couple addresses.
Lee's eyes just light up, and they reach into where a shirt pocket would totally be if their turtleneck had a pocket, and then pull out a business card, even though there doesn't appear to be a pocket there, and hands it over to the sheriff or police officer. Here you go. We can anytime. My phone is always on, as they say. That's words. Those words work.
I always keep my phone on me too, except for after 9 p.m. on a school night, and also not before 11 a.m. on a school day, and also not on the weekends.
Well, don't work too hard there, Perry Mason. That's real, right? That's another. Yeah.
Sounds right.
All right, excellent. That sounds about right. That or they make shoes that are sold
No,
at
I
Fred
think
Meyer.
wasn't
so
Perry
it's
Mason a
one or
lawyer
the
though,
other.
not a cop?
I was probably 6 months old in utero when I watched Perry Mason last. So
Yeah, not at all confused with Perry Manasian, the general manager of the Los Angeles Angels.
Angels, like one Lee Serafini.
what?
It's all coming together.
The string board.
No, we're getting addresses for a couple. He said he wouldn't be able to do anything until the morning. I think if he was going inside to get addresses, Zeke would just be like, I don't think I want to knock on these people's doors in the middle of the night on a school night, man.
He said that they weren't children.
We could... No, that's totally true. It's just more like the town culture, you know. That, but
School night is sacred.
I mean, we can. I kind of wanted to check out the jogging path for, you know, those kids, and he just rolls his eyes. But like, I don't know. Do you guys want to check on these wounded adults, or like try and find out what's really going on?
Tomorrow is Meatloaf Part 2, so I don't actually have to put the food out. I put it out yesterday, and it's good. Thank you again for the shelf-stable substance that constitutes that company that sponsors this podcast.
Loaf on your time.
Meatloaf so you can loaf.
Exactly. Loaf I will. So, I mean, I could probably skip out a little early tomorrow, and we could go to a couple houses, maybe talk to people. But I agree, it's a school night, and for some reason that is very important to people, even without children. Like that everybody is very concerned it's a school night at any point.
It's like, wait a second, what's tonight? Yeah. Tuesday.
If there's one thing we know in this town.
Man walks into the ER. Did you know it's a school night? Go home.
Shut it down.
Yeah, even old Johnny.
It's like a dry town on the weekend, but it's every single weekend at 9 p.m. Just everything closes.
Yep. It's Utah. 100% it's Utah.
So Officer Turner disappears into the house for a little bit and just leaves the door open, and you can hear more Seinfeld music in the background, or whatever version of that won't get us sued. And returns a few minutes later with a small map of the town. He's marked the places on the map where these people live, and he's like, I just decided to do the work for you. You know, it's a school night. And you'll see 3 places on the map marked out, all sort of around nearest the river on the eastern side of town. Now, I do have to get back to my soaps. Did y'all need anything else?
So wait, all the attacks, the people lived relatively close to each other? Or is it just generally in the east side of town near the river?
The people all looks like they lived within a 10, 15-minute walk of each other.
Well, no, I guess enjoy your soaps, officer. We'll circle back, you know, once we get some time to chat up the wounded townsfolk that, you know, we'll see if they saw the kids. Maybe they remembered something now.
Yeah, maybe. All right, y'all be safe. And just shuts the door.
Enjoy your show. It's a school
that
night.
That net isn't going to drag itself. Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
All right, you've got a map of the town with
where we
3
live.
tiny X's. Yeah, circled on it, and each of the X's has a name by it. One of them is Alice Rigsdale. One is Christopher Prower, and one is Constance Hopkins.
Do we know any of these people?
Roll investigative history.
Constance Hopkins founded the town.
Oh, yeah, I will. I just looked her up too. That's so funny. Out of all the names, I typed hers in, and I was like, "On the Mayflower, you say?"
What was Christopher's last name? Sorry.
Prower.
That is a 6 and a 3 plus 2 for an 11.
Nice. Let me go back to the thing and see what all happens when you investigate a mystery successfully. You can ask some questions. So I'm going to say With a successful roll, you can ask 2 of those questions if you want, or I can just tell you a little bit more about these people.
Tell me about these people.
Great. You are familiar with them. You're not super close, but all of these people have grown up in the town. You know that Alice is a teacher. Christopher is a magician. I was going to say what is it? A person who works on cars, a mechanic, but I forgot the word for mechanic, so now he's a magician.
Same thing.
And Constance works at the bank. You're not super close with any of them, but you know of all of them. You know they all live, like I said, same part of town. They're all pretty different people. They don't really hang out in the same circles. But they all have been attacked in the last week-ish. Each of them 2 days apart. You'll say, I'll give you that extra piece of information for free.
So I've heard that all of these people have been attacked, obviously, but I don't think any of them know each other.
It's a small enough town you can infer they all sort of know each other, but again, they're not close friends.
No, yeah, they aren't really. I mean, pretty sure, Christopher's kid is allergic to gluten, and, Constance's nephew is basically just a bread loaf. So they don't even get along. But, that's the important information I share with all of you from my role. So, do we want to... We probably want to go to the park, right? Not knocking anyone's doors.
Yeah,
it's a school night. We all know it's a school night. It's a school night.
It is a school night.
School is really important.
But I think we should go see if we get scratched.
All right.
Yeah. And, we could keep walking, or Zeke could drive. It's whatever.
Tell us about your car.
What do you drive? Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a car in my gear. It is definitely a... you'd think, what, does he drive a VW bus? No, he drives a Vanagon. He's classy. So, there's room in the Vanagon for sure.
Can we say we have a vehicle if we
so you
didn't
take in
have
the car,
a
you walk
car
in?
listed in our thing? Because I know exactly what I would drive, but I don't have a car as my gear.
What would Don drive?
Don would drive a
I'm
Toyota
curious.
Hijet, which is one of those little micro vans. Have you ever seen those?
Make me Google this. All right, 1 second. Do other people here? Oh.
Toyota.
Oh,
actually, no. It's made by
yeah.
Daihatsu. It's made by Daihatsu.
Yeah, one of the
Jet?
I think
Japanese
they're
vans.
exported by Toyota. Yeah, but it's those little mini
Yeah.
micro vans.
Oh, cute.
Those are super popular in Portland. I don't know if Jeff has ever seen a lot of them, but there's a lot of people that drive primarily not Daihatsu, but other Toyota vans that are only released in Japan here. A lot. It's weirdly popular in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
These things are cool though. Ooh, this one looks fun. Yeah, let me just paste this in the McFyb for all the Daihatsu fans in there.
It's integral. I'm here for
Oh
it.
my god, I think I found... Here we go. This is what his looks like.
That's pretty good. So we have literally 2 conspiracy theorists with vans. Not one of you drives a Gremlin or a Pinto or something else from the last time.
To be fair,
you
that's
could
roughly
trust.
the size of a gremlin.
Yeah, that's fair.
A minute. Right. So are you walking or...
I think we're taking the van, right?
I'm taking the van.
Yeah,
All
we're
right.
taking-
We've got to be in the van.
We're taking Zeke's van.
Yeah,
We're a
on the
van
radio.
wagon combo.
All right.
Yeah.
So you enjoy a quick and uneventful drive over to the other side of town. You cross the river to where these houses are. I think I said... Did I say they're on
Yeah,
the
you
east
did.
side? I think
Yeah.
I said they're on the east side. Great. Good. So you cross the river to get over to the east side of town. It's much quieter and darker here. It is a school night. And you can pull up to any of those 3 addresses. It doesn't really matter which one. Choose at your desire.
I thought we were going to try going to the park.
Oh, you're going to the park. You're right. I'm sorry. You're going to the park. So you are going to the park.
Yes.
This late at night, there's not a whole lot of kids out there. It's just sort of...
Like that there are still kids out there, though?
Well, the kids don't care. It's a school night. They're hanging out at bars.
There are a handful of children running around. It's summer, so it's not... It's like just after 9, so it's like getting dark.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so there's still like a little bit of sun in the sky. It's just going down over the horizon.
I figure in a town this small, the light pollution's got to be pretty minimal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's you can see a handful of stars. It's nice. There's a baseball diamond. There's a big soccer field. There's a little playground in the center, and in the center of the playground, there's this big, like, towering 2-story wooden castle, where you see a handful of teens hanging out, doing teen stuff.
Yeah, with a singular sharp object and reading Animal Farm.
Yeah.
Animal Farm.
They're all running around with machetes.
So you see some kids just hanging out. It's, it seems to be like this is the cool place for kids to hang out now that it's after dark. Even though it's a school night, they're hanging out at the middle of the playground. You don't see any small children around. You do see one other person who's like kind of a ways off over in the field.
Do they also hear Trap Queen by Fetty Wap
themselves,
like coming out of our windows before we turn off the... Because it's 2015 and that is a very popular song.
That's a very popular. It's true. I just heard that at a wedding the other day. That's funny.
Great. Excellent. Fantastic. Well, now I know what I'm going to play at my wedding. Does Fetty Wap do weddings? Wow. He officially... he can't marry people. He married someone. I thought he literally could legally marry people.
Oh. I mean, Guy Fieri can, so it can't be that hard to get.
See, the final Fetty Wap booking price is contingent on many variables. An example fee to book Fetty Wap is in the starting range of $150,000 to $299,000, and now $300,000 apparently.
No, that's
pretty pricey.
Oh, don't be absurd.
He knows no one would contact her for that much.
So we see one other person a ways off in the field by themselves, listening to Fetty Wap. But can we make out, is this a local? Or is this, not?
I would say you recognize most of these kids, passing. Again, it's a small enough town. You've seen these kids around. If not, for some of you at the school or in the library or whatever, then with their families here just as tourists. The person on the edge of the soccer field does not look familiar to you, and in fact is dressed a little bit strangely, just came from a Ren fair strangely.
Is it Constance?
Perhaps a kindred spirit.
Looks a little strange. Came from Ren Fair with their singular blade.
Are they spinning, humming?
I don't know if you could tell from this far away. They seem to sort of be standing, just watching the other kids play.
Sorry, Zeke has binoculars in his gear, so he could tell whatever the binoculars allow.
Okay.
If he pops those out, what does he see?
Yeah, you see a person who looks to be a teenager, maybe about 15, 16 years old. She has curly red hair and freckles, and she's wearing this long white sort of silken gown with a woven kind of belt around her waist, and the belt has a little pouch on it. She does indeed have a single dagger attached to her belt. And she is sort of swaying to herself and watching these kids, and like every once in a while she'll laugh at something and that you can't see or hear.
So Zeke could be like, I don't want to like jump to conclusions, but there's like that gal over there is kind of laughing to herself. She has a dagger. I mean, we had daggers with just one blade. Could be this lady's a little troubled.
Should we attempt to detain her?
So we have like no, as I was going to say, we have like no legal powers, although we've been perhaps unofficially, Lee has been granted a sort of deputy status.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, what is legality in a town where a man with a gun can arbitrarily lock a door to a bar and have everyone be cool?
Hey, now Don was a cop at one point in his life.
Once a cop, always a cop.
I mean, anyone can just lock a door, but with a gun? Come
He
on.
carries a police benevolence card. It's fine.
Yeah, one of those stickers in the back of his car that stopped him from getting pulled over so much. What? I don't know if we want to. I mean, do I recognize this young person? Has she ever come through my chow line?
You do not recognize her.
See, I don't know that one. And I know all the kids. Usually by smell. Yeah, I don't know that one.
Could I investigate a mystery?
You can. What are you doing?
I think without trying to be super creeper, he would just kind of squint at through the binoculars and try and see if he can, I don't know, recall anything or catch any details he might otherwise have missed at a surface glance.
Yeah, go for it. Roll a plus sharp.
Rolling plus sharp. That is an 8 off the dice plus 1 for a 9.
Excellent. So you can hold one to ask, what happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? Or what is being concealed here?
Kind of just want to go with what sort of creature is it? Like, is this just like a normal girl or not?
Sure. I would say, let's see, from your experience dealing with weirdness, you are getting a distinctly Fey vibe from this person.
Ooh. Yeah, so he'd kind of look a little. You'd see these emotions flash over his face, like, oh, that's so cool, and also, oh no, we're all gonna die. And then, I don't really know what's going on. But he would just say, I'm getting like a Fey vibe, man, from that girl with the dagger. I mean, this could be it. This could be a one-episode thing. Like, we just grab her. Just went to the field first, man.
Case closed.
Yeah, Van's made of cold iron. Hit her.
Because this is before Dieselgate, I mean.
Maybe someone should go talk to her. I don't know if all of us should. Might be a little weird.
What if we all go talk to her from different angles at the same time?
Just surround her.
Surely there's a word for that.
Like to think at like any moment you look over at Lee and it's just like one of those biblical representations of an angel with like 45 wings and eyes, and then you look away and you look back and they're just there.
Yeah. So we gonna go harass the fairy, or
We can't keep listening to Trap Queen in the van. My
It's a hot track. Someday the kids are going to call it something
or
like
even a bop.
slap bang. I don't know.
Slap bang.
I don't know. Jerry. It might not catch on.
I mean, if this really is some kind of magic fairy person, which, I mean, okay, but we should probably go grab them before they, like, disappear back to wherever or whatever it is these things do. Don't fairies do weird stuff like that?
Normally this is a thing I have to tell Lee, but we don't just grab. We have to have a reason to grab. We can't just grab. It was like a whole 2 weeks we were going over this.
Well, how about she's standing out here holding a knife, staring at children in the distance in a place where a guy just got stabbed.
Isn't it on her belt, though? She's not, like, brandishing it, right?
Yeah, it's just she just has it on her belt.
Can we see, is it in, like, a sheath? Like, if we look through the binoculars, can we see if there's blood on it, or can we not see the blade?
Something we're all looking through the binoculars at the same time.
We're just passing them around.
We all take turns peering through the binoculars.
And they're still around.
It looks like it's in a sheath. You can't tell.
Yeah, just...
It's that bit where it's on Zeke's neck, and so everyone just grabs him. And it's just like, whoa.
I'm going to say as you're standing there trying to decide, the wind is starting to pick up. And you notice the kids notice this. And they all sort of like, I guess we should get home. You know how wind is on a school night. And start heading home. The person in the back of the field is still watching the kids. And then almost within seconds, like as is anyone who's ever lived on the East Coast during a summer knows, the wind picks up, you feel 1 raindrop, you feel 3 raindrops, and then suddenly the heavens just open up. And the kids are like, the kids scramble to get out of there. Maybe you head back to your van. Before you can get there, some lightning, as if from nowhere, comes and strikes one of the trees, and it explodes into flame. And when you turn back, the girl is gone. And that is where we're going to end for tonight.
Well,
with a fire and some rain.
I've seen fire,
James Taylor,
and I've
good
seen
night.
rain.
I've seen session ones that I thought would never end.
I mean, real.
Good night.
Good night, Izzy.
We got out of the van.
Good night, Kingsley.
Good night, Izzy. Yeah, we did it.
Woo woo. Yeah, Kings too.
Good night, mysterious fairy murderer. As in, she's a fairy that murders, not one who murders fairies, although I don't know.
Start my recording.
That is a lot of recording.
Waveforms.
Monstrous waveforms.
Monster of the waveforms.
The waveform is out there.
Monster of the wave.
Waveform of the week.
Waveform of the week.
I remember all of this except for Giroux's character asking Jerry about what do you feed the kids. I remember like everything else, and I'm like, yeah, I remember all of these interactions.
Mashed potatoes and just writ
with
the cardboard right in there.
Yeah. Of course, with the fiber, darling.
Always watching.
Yeah, it's amazing how I remembered absolutely nothing about any of this, but looking at the sheet, I'm like, oh, I remember that.
I do remember a good deal of our back and forths on some of these. Like, I am excited that the Fright Finders came up.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty stoked.
I'm sure we all watched that YouTube series and were dismayed when it mysteriously disappeared. Oh, what year is it, by the way?
2015.
Okay.
Nice.
Boop. Pause for cat.
Boop. I saw an MG this morning at Panera Bread. It was awesome. This beautiful, tiny green convertible.
Were you at Panera to get that like highly caffeinated lemonade?
Oh, the lemonade that kills you?
Oh,
the murderous
just
lemonade.
charge me up, BB. Charge me caffeine senpai. No, I was not. I get a here's the shill for the sip club. I was getting my iced tea.
This episode brought to you by Panera. We generally don't kill people.
Not too often.
Under most circumstances, we don't kill people.
Generally speaking.
Technically, those two people had pre-existing conditions, so it's probably not our fault anyway. And there's signs up for like, so
Panera.
seriously.
Panera.
Panera.
We legally have to
Okay.
lower the caffeine limit, so now you can't sue us.
They're phasing it
Yeah.
out. They're getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting rid of it
no,
altogether.
I have
They
to get to
they
Panera
dropped the
ASAP.
caffeine level and then decided it still wasn't safe enough, and they're just getting rid of it.
You heard it first here. Legal has told us that it's totally okay to let you know to consume as much of this Panera drink before they get rid of it as possible because it's completely safe now.
Panera,
You know-
do your worst.
They were marketing as a new era at Panera, which I loved. And now it's next level.
See, if it's Pan Era, it's already all the eras, though. You can't have a new one if it's.
Pan.
Well, that's
Also,
their
to show how
marketing people,
stupid
not
I am, I
ours.
was about to make a joke about Pan being bread, and then realized, no, that's why they're called Panera.
St. Louis Bread Company.
The CEO is actually just the satyr. That's how they got the name in the first place. It's really weird. All right, let's keep moving on. That is the
Favorite
Panera,
segment
the
of the
Panera
show.
Minute, paid for you by Panera Bread. We do our worst.
Yeah. We are required as part of the sponsorship terms to just have a quick Panera minute.